Hi guys, and after a long while, it's that time again. Which is better? Autos of Madness by Morbid Angel or Left Hand Path by Entombed? And before I continue, I'm going to leave links in the description to check out songs by SOULFLY. Other than that, let's get into this. With Altars of Madness by Morbid Angel, you take an album like Possessed Seven Churches, increase the intensity and everything else that made Seven Churches such a heavy album back in 1985, you take all of that and you up it up by 100. And then you've got this album, Altars of Madness. It contains intense riffs, mind-blowing solos, grounding vocals, amazing drumming, and it just feels as if your head is being shoved right into a blender. The best part about this album is the drumming. Pete Sandoval is just an absolute beast on this album, with his blast beats and time changes like on the song Chapels of Ghouls, which has at least probably 10 tempo changes throughout the legendary song, and he sounds more aggressive than Mike Soss of Possessed. He's even up there with Slayer's Dave Lombardo in terms of complexity and speed. He can even play at all tempos, from the complete blast fest, which is Bleed for the Devil, to the slow doom metal outro to Evil Spells. It is equally matched by Trey Azatoff's and Brunel's brutal riffs as well. Azatoff's solos during Evil Spells sound like the screams of a victim. I'm not going to mention what kind of victim here. The riffs are also inspired by black metal. In songs, for example, like Immortal Rights, David Vincent probably created the first true death growl, and I know this is probably going to trigger a whole debate about who created the first proper true death growl, but do what you want. This, alongside Seven Churches, is a highlight reel of the death metal genre. The harmonizing leads from Visions of From the Dark Side just oozes evil. Immortal Rights has some brutal drumming and some kick-ass riffs and the demonic growls of David Vincent. Suffocation has hellish blast beats and brutal riff ridge and a chaotic solo. Even the ending is chaotic as well, with the brutal drum smashing the ears of you. Chapel of Ghouls is probably the best song on the album. It has crushing riffs, a dark atmosphere, insane drumming that just feels like it destroys everything in sight. But overall, every song in this album is crazily excellent. So I highly recommend this album to anybody out there that wants to understand death metal. Me personally, I believe that if you don't listen to this album, you wouldn't understand. So sticking with the theme of old school death metal, we're going to go to Sweden and we're going to be looking at Left Hand Path by Entombed. Now, these guys were pretty much the founders of Swedish death metal as we know it, and so many different bands over the years have been influenced by Entombed sound on this album. And of course, R.I.P. LG. He just rips it up in terms of vocals. The unique style and intensity is what he dished out on this album, and what an impression it made. They definitely shattered windows with this release because so many fans decided that it was louder than life just to blare it. There's so many components to this release than just the unique guitars. LG's vocalist, as mentioned. The sound quality of this release, the sort of echo sound to it as well, the reverb and mixing that just did the album justice. Al from Earache Records might have had some influence over the sound quality if he was around at the time, 1990, when this was released. He described LG's vocals as being way into metal and dedicated to the genre and his fans. Basically, what LG would do is drink beer and play metal. Unfortunately, this was the kind of lifestyle that, not so much the playing metal part, but it was the copious amounts of beer that he drank that kind of led to his untimely demise at the age of 49. May he rest peacefully. But he was definitely a true brother to the genre and in music. Overall, LG was just metal through and through. A standout part of this is the guitars, as mentioned. They were original sounding, had a unique turn, but the riffs were intense, and in a league of their own in terms of songwriting capabilities. Now, when I first heard this, I thought I had to see what was really going on. and it was impressive, and it just made you want to hear more from them. And they, like I said from the get-go, they were part of that foundation of death metal. Though I feel another debate is coming. Though Chuck Schuldiner seemed to be the father of death metal, that was way early on in the genre. But Entombed were the founders of Swedish form of death metal. That is, there are not that many founding members of Entombed remaining, and also to throw into this EG's passing, so who knows what's going to happen with the band. Let's take this moment to commend the band for this outstanding album, and I don't think that it could ever be done again. And an honourable mention here as well is another Swedish death metal band that have been around as long as Entombed, and that's Dismember. And they've had quite a history as well, and both Dismember and Entombed are definitely in the milestone territory. But to conclude things, I'm going to just say, long live Entombed. And on that note, thanks for watching, and let me know which album you thought was better in the comments down below. I'll see you next time.